Have you ever felt like no one truly understands you? Like your desire for freedom, your urge to break the rules, your need to move, are seen as flaws? What if I told you they're not flaws at all? Especially if you're an Aries, or if someone close to you is. Here's a truth most people miss. Aries are not born to follow. They are born to lead, to create, to burn. Trying to control an Aries is like trying to hold fire in your bare hands. The tighter you grip, the more it burns. And yet, behind that unstoppable energy lies a deeper story. A story about psychology, about emotional needs, and the fight for personal freedom that lives inside every Aries soul. Today, we're not just listing traits. We're diving into the hidden reasons. Why Aries can't and won't be controlled. I promise. Some of these insights will surprise you. Maybe they'll help you understand yourself, or someone you care about. So, if you're ready to discover the truth, stay with me till the end of this video. And hey, if you find this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, tap like, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Because the fire inside Aries deserves to be understood. Let's start with something many people misunderstand. Aries don't resist control just to be difficult. It's not about rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's much deeper than that. Inside every Aries, there's a burning need for personal sovereignty. A need to feel like they own their life, their choices, their path. This isn't just an astrological trait. It's a psychological blueprint. Aries are ruled by Mars, the planet of action and war. And that war? It's often not against the world. It's a battle to defend their freedom, to protect their right to move through life without chains. Think about it. Have you ever told an Aries what to do? Watched their reaction? It's almost instant. You'll see it in their eyes first. A quiet defiance. And then, action. They step away. They shut down. Or they fight back. Not because they hate you, but because something inside them feels threatened, controlled. And Aries can't allow that. It's like trying to cage fire. It goes against their nature, against who they are at their core. But what's fascinating is their confrontational energy. It's not always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes, it's subtle. A silent refusal. A calm but firm no. This isn't about being aggressive. It's about reclaiming space. Saying, this is my life and I'll choose my own direction. In psychology, we call this the need for autonomy. For Aries, it's not just a need. It's a survival instinct. Saying no isn't defiance. It's self-preservation. I've met so many Aries who've struggled in workplaces, in relationships, in families that tried to shape them, mold them, control them. And every time, they ran. They cut ties. They burned bridges. People saw them as difficult, impulsive, rebellious. But what if we've been misunderstanding them all along? What if their behavior is actually their soul's way of screaming, let me be free? Here's something you might not expect. Their impulsiveness? That's not recklessness. That's wisdom. You see, Aries move fast. They don't overthink. They don't hesitate. When they feel something, they act. When an idea sparks, they chase it. It's not because they're careless. It's because they trust their gut more than any rulebook. Life, for Aries, is not meant to be analyzed from the sidelines. It's meant to be lived. Fully. Completely. Right now. I once asked an Aries friend why she always quit jobs after just a few months. She laughed. Then she said something I'll never forget. If I know it's not for me, why should I waste more of my life pretending? That's Aries in one sentence. They don't linger in places that drain their energy. They don't follow paths just because society says they should. They move. And their movement is their freedom. Now, this part is crucial. Aries don't see limits like the rest of us do. Most people see walls and stop. Aries? They see walls and start looking for ways to climb over or break through. To them, limitations aren't obstacles. They're challenges. And challenges aren't roadblocks. They're invitations. Every you can't becomes watch me. Every don't becomes I will. This isn't just bravado. It's how they grow. How they evolve. In their mind, anything that restricts them is something that needs to be overcome. Not for the sake of victory, but because testing their limits is how they feel alive. If you've ever loved an Aries, you'll know this. Tell them something's impossible, and you've just guaranteed they'll try. So how do we apply this to real life? Whether you're an Aries yourself, or someone who loves one, remember this: control is the enemy of connection. If you try to lead them with force, they'll push you away. But if you walk beside them, if you respect their need for freedom, they'll let you into their world. Not because they have to, but because they choose to. And that is the only way to truly connect with an Aries. By understanding that their need to lead, their impulsiveness, their hunger for challenge, are not flaws to be fixed. They are the essence of who they are. In the end, Aries are not here to be tamed. They are here to burn bright, to challenge the world, to show us what it means to live without fear. And maybe, just maybe, to remind us that inside all of us, there's a little fire waiting to be set free too. Here's something most people miss about Aries: their energy, that unstoppable force inside them. It's not just about movement or action. It's about emotional release. Think of it like this. Imagine having a fire burning inside your chest. Constant. Relentless. It's not a choice. It's just there. That's what Aries lives with every single day. This fire isn't just passion. It's their psychological state. A constant need to act, to move, to create, just to feel balanced. When they stay still too long, when they hold back their energy, it builds up. And it starts feeling like pressure. That's why Aries can seem restless, even impatient. But deep down, it's their inner system begging for expression. This is why routine feels like a prison to them. Repetition kills their spirit slowly, like suffocating a flame under glass. It might not make sense to others. But for Aries, doing the same thing every day feels like losing themselves, bit by bit. Their soul needs change. Needs surprise. Needs the unexpected. Because that's how they stay alive inside. I've seen Aries people quit high-paying jobs, leave long-term relationships, even move cities. All because life started feeling too predictable. They don't do this because they're unstable. They do it because routine erases their inner spark. And for Aries, nothing is scarier than losing their fire. Maybe you've felt that before. Waking up each morning, feeling like everything's just the same. No excitement. No adventure. If you're an Aries, that feeling isn't boredom. It's a warning sign. A signal from your soul that you need change. And ignoring it never works. That's why my advice is simple. Give yourself permission to seek the new. Change your route to work. Learn something unexpected. Let yourself chase curiosity without feeling guilty. Because routine isn't safety for you. It's slow destruction. Now let's talk about something even harder. The way Aries walks away. If you've ever loved an Aries, you might know this pain. One moment, they're there. The next, they're gone. No long explanations. No slow fade. Just silence. Why? Because for Aries, cutting ties isn't coldness. It's survival. When someone tries to control them, manipulate them, or hold them back, something inside clicks. And when that switch flips, their instinct tells them one thing: leave. Fast. Aries protect their freedom like it's life itself. And honestly, it is. But here's the hard truth. When an Aries walks away, they rarely look back. It's not because they didn't care. It's because coming back feels like surrender. Like walking back into a cage they fought to escape. That's why understanding Aries requires respecting their space. If they pull away, don't chase. Let them breathe. Let them come back when they feel free, not cornered. And if you're an Aries yourself, trust that instinct. If a relationship, a job, a situation feels like it's crushing your freedom, don't hesitate. Protect yourself. Even if it's hard. It all ties back to their instincts. You see, Aries don't need long conversations, endless lists of pros and cons, or advice from everyone around them. Their inner voice is strong. And they trust it deeply. Instinct, for Aries, is like a compass pointing to what's right, even when no one else understands. That's why they move fast. Why they make decisions others call reckless. It's not recklessness. It's self-trust. I remember a friend who got engaged after just 2 weeks. People judged her. Told her she was crazy. But she smiled and said, "I know." And she was right. 10 years later, they're still together. That's Aries' intuition. It doesn't explain itself. It just knows. If you're an Aries, never let the world silence that voice inside you. Your instincts are your superpower. Listen to them. Follow them. Even when others doubt you. And if you're close to an Aries, understand that their decisions might seem sudden. But behind that speed is a mind that trusts itself more than it trusts approval from the outside. They move not because they're ignoring you. They move because their inner compass told them it's time. So here's my advice. Whether you're living as an Aries or loving one, give space for instinct. Respect freedom. And remember, every time Aries leaps forward, they're not running away. They're running toward their truth. Now, you might think you've understood everything about Aries by now. But don't be too sure. Because what comes next, in the final part of this video, will reveal the most surprising, and possibly the most misunderstood, truths about the Aries soul. Stay with me. The final 3 insights might just change everything you thought you knew. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to silence an Aries? Told them to calm down, to hold back, to stop speaking their truth? If you have, you already know how that ends. Aries doesn't do silence. And they certainly don't accept being silenced. Speaking up isn't a choice for them. It's a way to survive. When something bothers them, when something feels wrong, when someone tries to control them, their words become their shield. Their voice becomes their sword. Holding it in? That's not possible. It builds up inside, like steam in a closed bottle. Eventually, it has to burst. That's why they say what they feel. Directly. Honestly. Sometimes too honestly. But here's the thing. Their bluntness isn't meant to hurt. It's meant to free them. Every word they speak is like clearing space around them. Space to breathe. Space to move. Space to be themselves. I once heard someone call Aries rude because of how directly they spoke. But I saw something else. I saw someone protecting their boundaries, refusing to be pushed, refusing to let someone else rewrite their story. So, here's my advice. If you're close to an Aries, don't ask them to be quiet when their soul needs to speak. Don't tell them to just let it go when something feels wrong to them. Understand that their voice is how they heal. It's how they protect their freedom. And if you're an Aries yourself, don't apologize for your honesty. Just remember, you don't have to shout to be heard. Sometimes the quiet truth cuts deeper than the loudest scream. Now, let's talk about something even more misunderstood. The Aries ego. Most people think ego means arrogance. That it's about thinking you're better than everyone else. But for Aries, ego is something different. It's not a mask. It's not false pride. It's protection. Their ego is like armor. Not built to push others away, but to keep their sense of self safe. Aries believe in themselves deeply. And that belief is what fuels their actions. It's what lets them move forward when others hesitate. Take risks when others doubt. Their ego is the reason they don't wait for permission to live their life. But there's something deeper. Every time life tries to box them in, every time someone tries to control them, it's their ego that says no. It's their ego that reminds them of their worth. And that's something beautiful. Because in a world that constantly tries to make people doubt themselves, Aries stands tall and says, I know who I am. If you're an Aries listening right now, I want you to hear this. Your confidence isn't arrogance. It's your strength. It's what keeps your fire burning when others try to dim your light. Protect it. But also, be aware. Your ego is strong. And sometimes, when it gets wounded, you might close off too quickly. Remember, protecting yourself doesn't mean shutting everyone out. Let your confidence be your anchor, not your wall. Speaking of strength, let's not forget Aries' love for competition. It's not about winning for the sake of ego. It's about proving something to themselves. Every challenge is a test. Every obstacle, a chance to prove they're strong enough, fast enough, brave enough. Aries thrives on that adrenaline. The rush of the fight. The thrill of the challenge. That's why rules, structures, and limitations feel so suffocating to them. Because they don't want to compete by someone else's rules. They want to do it their way. Win or lose, it has to be on their terms. Think about it like this. Have you ever played a game with an Aries and tried to change the rules midway? Watch how fast they push back. Not because they need to win, but because fairness, freedom, and authenticity matter more than any trophy. In relationships, in careers, in life itself. Aries is always competing. But not with others. With their own limits. And that's the secret. They're always trying to beat the person they were yesterday. So if you love an Aries, understand their hunger for challenge. Let them run. Let them chase. Let them compete. Not because they need to defeat you, but because that competition feeds their spirit. And if you're an Aries, remember, the only race worth running is the one that leads you closer to your true self. Finally, let's talk about the force that fuels everything Aries does. Passion. If you've ever watched an Aries fall in love, chase a dream, or throw themselves into a project, you know exactly what I mean. They don't do things halfway. They don't test the water. They dive in. Completely. Passion isn't a hobby for Aries. It's a way of breathing. It's the reason they wake up in the morning. It's the spark behind their actions. But that passion can also be overwhelming. For them. And for the people around them. When they care about something or someone, it consumes them. And when life tries to slow them down, when people try to tell them to be careful, that passion burns even hotter. I remember a conversation with an Aries client who was struggling at work. She said, "If I can't feel passionate about what I'm doing, I lose interest. I can't fake it." And I realized, that's not a weakness. That's her compass. Passion is the way Aries measures their connection to life itself. If the fire goes out, they know something is wrong. And they move on. That's why controlling an Aries never works. You can't cage that passion. You can't contain it. It will always find a way to burn through. So, my advice? If you're an Aries, honor that passion. Don't let people tell you to dim your light just to fit in. Use that fire to guide you. But also, learn to manage it. Sometimes, stepping back doesn't mean you're giving up. It just means you're protecting your energy, so you can burn brighter tomorrow. And if you're close to an Aries, remember this: when they love with everything. When they care deeply. Be grateful for that. But don't try to control it. Because their passion isn't just part of them. It is them. Now, if you think you've seen the full picture of Aries, think again. Because in the final 3 insights of this video, we're going to uncover the most profound, the most controversial, and perhaps the most human truths about the Aries soul. Don't miss it. The next part might change how you see Aries forever. Let's talk about something that many people misunderstand about Aries. People often assume they're rebellious for the sake of it, that they push back simply because they like to argue. But if you listen carefully, if you really watch how they move through life, you'll see something much deeper. Aries doesn't rebel out of stubbornness. They speak up because silence feels like betrayal. To themselves. When something bothers them, when something feels wrong, holding it inside feels like carrying a heavy weight on their chest. So, they speak. They say what others are afraid to say. And they don't soften their words. Not because they don't care, but because softening the truth would be like lying to themselves. Their honesty is their way of protecting their freedom. Their words create space around them. Space to breathe. Space to be. It's their emotional release. And when they're forced to stay silent, that energy doesn't go away. It turns into frustration, restlessness, even anger. That's why controlling an Aries by keeping them quiet never works. Their voice is their power. I remember a friend, an Aries woman, who once ended a long friendship simply because she felt like she couldn't speak freely anymore. Her words weren't welcomed. Her truth was met with resistance. And instead of changing herself, she walked away. Not out of coldness, but because her soul couldn't survive in silence. So, if you're close to an Aries, listen to their voice. Let them express. Even when it's raw. Even when it's intense. And if you're an Aries, remember that your voice is sacred. Use it. But use it wisely. Now, think about childhood for a moment. Imagine a small child, independent from the very start. That's Aries. Independence isn't something they learn. It's something they are. Even as children, they don't want help unless they ask for it. They want to figure things out alone. They want to test their limits. They want to explore their own way. And as they grow, that independence only becomes stronger. It's not an act. It's not rebellion. It's their natural way of moving through the world. Trying to control them is like trying to catch the wind with your hands. You can't. And the harder you try, the more they slip away. That's why Aries struggles in environments that try to box them in, whether it's a strict family, a controlling partner, or a rigid workplace. Their spirit needs freedom. And when they don't get it, their energy turns destructive. Not to others, but to themselves. They become restless, frustrated, even aggressive, not because they're angry, but because their soul feels trapped. So, what can we learn from this? If you're an Aries, honor your independence. It's not selfish. It's survival. Trust your need to carve your own path. And if you love an Aries, remember, offering freedom is the best way to keep them close. The tighter you hold, the faster they'll run. But when you let them choose, they'll stay. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Now, let's explore something subtle but powerful. The constant search for something new. Aries aren't driven by boredom. They're driven by discovery. Life, for them, is an endless series of doors waiting to be opened. It's not about chasing thrills. It's about feeding their soul. Every new project, every new place, every new challenge is like oxygen to them. Without it, their fire dims. That's why Aries rarely stay in one place for long. It's not because they're restless. It's because stagnation feels like death to their spirit. And when they feel trapped, their instincts kick in. Move. Change. Grow. I once worked with an Aries entrepreneur who changed her entire business model 3 times in a single year. People called her unstable. I saw something different. I saw someone who refused to stay stuck. Someone who listened to her inner voice. And every time she pivoted, she grew. She evolved. That's Aries wisdom in motion. Constant renewal. So, if you're an Aries, embrace your hunger for the new. But learn to recognize the difference between healthy growth and running away from discomfort. Not every ending means failure. Sometimes, it's your soul saying it's time for the next adventure. And if you love an Aries, don't try to chain them to one place, one path, one version of themselves. Let them explore. Let them evolve. It's not rejection. It's self-preservation. And now, let's talk about speed. Aries lives life fast. Not because they're impatient, but because they feel life slipping through their fingers. There's a sense of urgency inside them. A need to act. To move forward. To experience everything now. Waiting feels like wasting time. Patience feels like punishment. And it's not because they're impulsive. It's because they understand, deep down, that life is short. And their fire burns too brightly to be held back. In relationships, in careers, in personal growth. Aries don't like slowing down. When they're passionate about something, they want to dive in. When they decide to change, they want to move immediately. And when others try to slow them down, it feels like being chained. They're not reckless. They're efficient. Their instincts tell them, go now, before the fire fades. I remember an Aries man who once told me, if I slow down, I'll lose momentum. And I can't risk that. His whole life was built around this inner push. It wasn't fear. It was drive. His speed wasn't about escaping life. It was about chasing it. So, what's the lesson here? If you're an Aries, don't let people shame you for moving fast. That's how your soul speaks. But also, learn to rest when your fire flickers. Speed is your strength, but burnout is real. Protect your energy, so you can keep running toward your dreams. And if you're close to an Aries, respect their pace. Don't ask them to slow down just because you're uncomfortable. Instead, choose to walk beside them. Or step out of their way. Because Aries isn't waiting. Now. You might think you've heard it all. But trust me. The final 3 insights we'll explore in the last part of this video. They are the most profound. The most surprising. And perhaps the most misunderstood truths about the Aries soul. Stay with me. What comes next might change the way you see Aries forever. And now, we come to what I believe is the heart of Aries energy. Pure fire. That's what Aries truly is. Not just metaphorically, but emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. Fire that burns, moves, transforms. Fire that can warm or destroy. And like any fire, it doesn't ask permission. It doesn't apologize. It simply exists. Aries is that pure flame that refuses to be caged. Try to control it, and it only burns hotter. Try to hold it back, and it finds another way to escape. This is why so many Aries struggle in environments that demand conformity. Why they resist people who try to box them in with rules or routines. It's not defiance. It's survival. Their flame needs air, space, freedom. And when they feel trapped, their entire being fights to break free. But here's what people miss. That fire, it's life itself for Aries. It's not just passion. It's their very essence. That flame is what drives them to create, to love, to dream. To push forward when everyone else gives up. I once met an Aries artist who told me something I'll never forget. She said, "I don't paint because I want to. I paint because I'll explode if I don't." That's Aries. It's not a choice. It's a need. A fire that must be expressed, no matter the cost. So, if you're an Aries listening right now, please hear me. Stop apologizing for your fire. It's not too much. It's not too intense. It's exactly what the world needs. Let it burn. Let it lead you. But remember, fire can consume as easily as it can illuminate. Learn to control the direction of your energy without dimming your light. And if you love an Aries, respect their fire. Don't try to contain them. Don't try to change them. Stand beside them. Warm your soul by their flame. And let them burn as they were born to. And finally, perhaps the deepest truth of all. Aries can't be controlled, because they were never meant to be. Control goes against everything that defines them. Their freedom, their fire, their fearless need to move, to speak, to lead. Aries were born to break limits. To challenge the world. To say no to what everyone else accepts. Trying to control an Aries is like trying to rewrite their soul. It's impossible. And honestly, it's unnecessary. Because the beauty of Aries doesn't come from being tamed. It comes from being understood. If you're an Aries, this is your reminder. You don't have to justify who you are. You don't need permission to be bold. To speak your truth. To live your life your way. You were born unstoppable for a reason. And if you're someone who loves an Aries, know that they're not fighting you. They're fighting for themselves. The best way to love them is to let them be free. And when you do, you'll witness something rare. You'll see someone who burns brighter, not because they're alone, but because they finally feel safe enough to stay. So, after everything we've talked about today, what does it all mean? Aries isn't just a sign. It's a force. It's a reminder of what it means to be alive. To move forward even when the world tells you to stop. To choose freedom over comfort. To trust your instincts, even when no one else understands. Maybe you saw yourself in this video. Maybe you recognized someone you love. Either way, I hope this has helped you understand the fire that lives within Aries, or within you. If you felt connected to anything we talked about today, if you saw even a little piece of yourself, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. And it helps me create more content like this. Just for you. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who feels trapped, someone who needs a reminder that their fire is not a flaw, share this video with them. You might help them more than you realize. And this is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface of what astrology, psychology, and personal growth can teach us. In the next videos, we'll dive even deeper. Into the hidden truths behind every sign. Into the emotions we're afraid to admit. Into the parts of ourselves we've forgotten how to love. So, stay curious, stay bold, and most of all, stay free. I'll see you in the next video.